Okay, welcome back to the Unicorn and the Fairy, the podcast where you're allowed to outgrow yourself and talk to the moon and the stars and the universe. Everything while still making your bed and making a mess and everything's like falling apart. I'm
Uh-huh.
Joanna. I'm Joanna, your favorite pink-haired unicorn mystic with the penchant for disruption disguised as sparkle.
I'm Kevin, with a PhD in, let's see, chaos and a minor in who are you and what are you doing? Here to help you laugh, learn, and turn it all upside down and back over again. There you go. So,
Yeah. And today, oh, you beautiful souls, we're diving into the cosmic event that happened on Saturday. It was the cazimi between Uranus and the sun, where I like to say they kiss each other, but this one is all about um, basically where you break your own rules. Like if you thought you were going to like have something that you wanted to do and you were like, oh, not really, buckle up. Well, your soul called shotgun. And you know what? It's hitting really close to home. I just had my first infusion. I think we talked about that. And it's called Gamma Guard. It's not cancer or anything, but I never knew I needed it. And I'm slowing down. It's really kicking my butt. And who would have thought like this was going to happen to me? But, this year has been really tough on me.
well,
Not this
how,
just this year, but man, the past like couple of days and this weekend have been, yeah, it's tough. And I had to surrender.
when did you realize you needed infusions?
Just the past like couple of weeks. I was told like I was missing some proteins in my body.
Hmm. And that's what the infusions do. They infuse, or like flood your body with the right kind of proteins.
Right.
Oh, so now I'm like curious because I stay curious. So when you have something that your body doesn't have and it's missing and they infuse it, does it take a while for your body to bounce back and get used to what it's missing?
I don't know. We're gonna find out, aren't we? And our audience is gonna find out what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And listen, thank you for sharing your personal journey. I think that's important. It's also important that I think most people are going through some kind of chaos.
Yeah.
And there are some that, it's out there open. They say balls to the walls, doesn't matter. We're going to share everything. And other people, they kind of retreat and hide. And, I have been guilty of, well, other people have got things worse than me. Who am I to complain? And then, of course, on the flip side, which is what I'm learning lately, law of attraction, law of attraction, law of attraction, law of attraction, telling a different story, acting and speaking and talking like it's already happened, like you've already got what you want, like you living in your dream world. The challenge with that is, while I love dipping my toe into the angel realm where they want nothing but good stuff for you, great things for you, and that feels so good, the reality of it is some of these dreams that we want are really kind of a stretch. They're kind of lofty. So that's why I love this unicorn and fairy energy because my fairies will bring me right down plop in a cow pat and they're like, it's not happening today.
And that's exactly it. And I've been guilty of, okay, I don't want to tell anybody. I can just pretend that I got this. I've been doing it for years. And so now I think what happens is um, I needed help. I need my people and I need to surrender like what's happening. And I think there's lots of people out there who also are going through not exactly what I'm going through, but need to know there are people out there who care. I mean, in the past year, I've had two collapsed lungs. I've had um, a VATS procedure, which is where they take powder and they try to re-inflate your lung, but they took out a part of the top, They cut out a part of the bottom of my right lung. And now I have a sexy voice. I'm calling it a sexy voice. Because I don't want to go into that place of, okay, and then my intestinal system's not working. And it's just a whole bunch of things that have happened. My esophagus it's just, it's like boom, boom, boom. And I never want to say mine's worse than anyone else's because there are lots of people who have a lot of things that are worse. But,
Kathy Griffin said
uh-huh.
had I want to say it was lung cancer, but I might be wrong. And she was left with a voice that was in the upper register. And of course, she's out there in the public. She
Yeah.
does shows. She talks on radio, and she just sounded completely different until she literally had to go and have a procedure that they discovered she had some kind of nodules on her voice box and they had to adjust all that. So, I take my hat off to you for all that you do, all that you are about, and still keep going. I think that's
Well,
it.
thank
We
you.
have to keep going through it, really.
Well, today, like I told you before we got on, I hit a wall, and I did the infusions. I hit a wall because I was like, oh, I'm doing great. I walked out. I had a fever. But today is like, oh my gosh, I hit the wall. But I put some makeup on. Makeup is great. You do your hair, you take a shower, you do your hair. As hairstylists, when you look great, you feel great. It's just, of course I have to get my hair done, but it's just that thing about just put some, for me anyway. I know there are people out there who don't put makeup on and don't care about getting their hair colored, but for me, it's that just put it on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you
It
feel
made
better,
me,
makes you
oh
feel
my,
brighter.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Well, maybe one of these days I should try put some slap on, see how I feel. See what
Yeah.
I did go yesterday afternoon and get my hair bobbed. I was starting to look like the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz with all that straw blonde hair going all over the place.
I love it.
I like interesting. I like talking about this. What did you call it when Uranus and the Sun were right on top of each other?
Oh, Casmini.
The cazimi. So talking about that, and you say
Mhm.
that happened on Saturday, right?
Right, right.
I think I've shared with people in my daily video. I, do hair on the side. That's my regular day job, how I get paid. And I go in and only part of the lights were on. I think I shared this a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, yep.
Um, and then, I call Duke energy. That's where we get our power.
Yeah, we do too.
Didn't have any access to the corporation because I rent from an insurance company. I didn't have access to their records. They couldn't pull up the account. Well, they did pull it up by the name of the insurance company and the address. And the lady says, well, I'm not really seeing there's an outage. I don't know what the problem is. My massage partner, she happened to make a call too. She got somebody else, and somebody else filled her in on more of what was happening, which meant there are two feeds of power coming into the building, and one of them had a problem. But they couldn't say how they want to fix it, when they were going to fix it. My client walked in thinking that his appointment was cancelled and walked over to the breaker box and literally put his fingers down all the breakers. I don't think he messed with them. And some of the lights came on. And then he put his hand on the breaker box, and then more lights came on. And I'm like, this is really kind of weird. But through all of it, it didn't throw me into a tailspin, which at
Right.
one point I think it would have
It
been,
would have.
oh gosh, I would have been fit to be tied, having, all sorts of, particularly when people rely on you, they've got an appointment, they have an expectation. And I think that's what you were talking about. Uranus and the sun, Uranus being, I call that planet the planet of chaos. Um, and
I call it the plan. It's the initiator. So, yeah, like
but
you're
what does
saying,
it initiate? Change?
oh, for me, it's what you thought you weren't going to be doing, like you were going to hide, or what you weren't going to be doing. It's going to blow that stuff up.
So it's a big revealer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like you, yeah, you call it one thing, I call another. It's a coin of a different side. Yeah, it's a different side of the same coin.
It's interesting because, most folks, when they hear things like Mercury retrograde causes all these things, I think that's learned. I don't think it's
Yes.
real.
No,
I
I
think
don't
it's
either.
what people get told and they believe. I want to say that Uranus is the same
Yeah.
thing. People have this idea that wherever Uranus is present, you can probably think that things are going to go wrong. But is that because um, we all have expectations and
Um, I don't know if it's um learned or real because I can tell you if I look back at like my Saturn returns or my the different parts of my life and I knew nothing about them. Wow. Yeah, wow.
a Saturn return is every
Every seven,
30.
every 7 years, 21 years. So, but every 7 years, you're going through a part of a Saturn return. I love, and I'm gonna like plug them, the pattern, and they're gonna tell you everything about. So you can put your a date in, and you can find what happened, like just on your. It's called the pattern. It's an app.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love it. So you can put a date in from the past and you can see what happened on that date or and it's like yeah.
See what happened to you or what happened in
Yeah,
general.
what to you?
So seemingly this app requires you to download or input your birth information.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
then you manipulate it by placing a date in the
Yes.
past. Now, does it also
Yes.
work for the future?
It can, yes.
That's always fascinating because I'm now beginning to invest in this idea that we're on the cutting edge of the change in humanity, the change in the cosmos, the change
Yeah.
in consciousness, that, this birth of the golden age has already happened, actually happened a while ago, that we're
Yes.
on the finishing touches of everything completely changing. And I've had a sense of this most definitely in 2012 when most of the physical changes happened. I mean, I'm thinking back to what was 2012 like for me. That was when I had this huge, big corporate job that in one afternoon imploded and came to an end and came to I went in thinking I was going to be looking at what my next little bit was going to be with this company, my new role, and I didn't have a new role. They had completely eliminated my job title, my everything I did. It was like watching that movie with George Clooney, where he goes around to different companies and it's like the exit game. He just,
Right.
finish. Well, that was what it felt like. And I go into the meeting thinking I was negotiating my future, and then I was negotiating the exit. What negotiations am I going to make to get out of this? Then I
Right.
completely turned it around and all of a sudden found myself in the yoga business. I was already practicing, and now they invited me to join their team, start assisting. Then I went to teacher training, and that was a complete 180, changing all that I knew. I was now teaching yoga and not teaching hairdressing, which was wild to me, completely wild. So I think what we're amping up to now is another big, I don't know what I'm doing next. However,
No, you do know what we're doing next. This is
well,
a
I get an
big yeah.
idea of it,
Yeah.
but I don't
Yeah.
have what's
But
lovely and what's delicious is I don't have the actual details. And that I think is the big thing. What are the
I
details? I
there
don't
are
have.
no no, and that's the beauty of it. It's that we can just hop on. I have to tell you, it's 4:44. As we're just gonna be
It's
spontaneous.
so wild.
Yeah, spontaneous, and we're gonna be vulnerable, and we're just gonna be uh like we need to tell people what's happening at the moment in our lives. And I know I like I was told today, I need another surgery. I need another this. I need another. Okay, well, when that happens, like I was online, I put it on my Instagram that I had surgery, I had another surgery, and then I retreated. I didn't tell
Oh,
anybody.
wait, wait,
Like
wait, wait, wait. You put it out there, and then what part of you retreated?
I didn't want to. I felt like I can't accept help. I don't want to like tell anybody. I don't like,
Well, you just
because
said you did put it out there.
I did. And then when I was in the hospital and because people were like, Joanna, we're offering our prayers, and I felt like for some reason because for so long I didn't have help. I didn't, I wasn't asking for help. I wasn't, and I retreated, and this is hard. This is really hard for me. So
You
right
have a
now,
big cosmic community, which is really
I
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
I do, and I have a soul family that loves me and is with me, and I know that. But it still is really hard to say, hey, this is what's happening, and would you send me some wonderful energies, prayers, and I know people are going through that, and I'd love to share in that with them also,
People are going through what you're going through.
whatever they're going through,
Yeah, yeah. It is
because I love people, and I want to send love to everybody. Um, like you said,
well,
I'm a semi truck that just comes and like blah.
no, I said you're a bit of a flippity gibbet.
Today you said that.
No, no, I didn't say you were a semi truck. I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
referred
you
to you
said when
as a
I
semi truck.
come with my love, I come and I just dump it.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I've been accused of that. One time I was asking somebody why this particular, it's been a while, why this particular person I was just madly in love with wasn't reciprocating, or just wanted the friendship card and didn't want the romance card. And this person said they actually wanted a pickup truck full of affection, and you showed up with a
Right.
semi truck full of love, and it's a little overwhelming. I'm like, what do you do? I can't dial that back.
No,
I can't
no, you
show up with a
no.
little bit. I have to show up with all of it.
Yeah.
Um,
You have to
anyway,
be
I
you.
digress.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to be us.
Um,
Yeah.
tell me what did you call it between Uranus and the Sun? A cazimi,
Casmini.
Tasmini.
Casmini.
I'm going to get all
Yeah.
these names wrong. Is that also connected with your mm, not ability? What am I looking for? Tendency to be a bit of a rebel.
Oh yeah.
Is it rebel energy, or is it turning us mostly into a little bit of a rebel?
I think it's going into your deeper self and like um, making sure that you get out there, like getting everything out.
Yeah, because I mean, today's horoscope, the sun is
Mhm.
making a harmonious alignment with Saturn, but it's also in the last little bit of Pisces, which is the feel good, the emotional, the dreamy, the soft. But then I don't know if it's tomorrow or the end of the
Today,
week. Is it
or you're
today?
talking about Gemini. We're going to Gemini,
Well, Saturn's moving into Aries,
right?
and Aries is full on, let's go, brand new astrological year begins. I don't know when does it go? It's either Thursday or Friday, the sun plops into Aries. We're also on the last quarter of the last
No,
moon
the sun
cycle.
pops into Gemini, right? Yeah.
No, we're moving into, oh yes,
Huh.
you're right, we're in Taurus. So it
Yeah.
moves into Aries. Saturn moves into Aries. That's what I meant to say, not the
Yeah.
sun.
So when you said I was a flippity gibbet, I was like, of course, because we're in Gemini. It's my sister sign. I love it.
I have friends that are Geminis. I don't know where my Gemini is in my chart without going either looking
Uh-huh.
at my natal chart or
I have
conversing.
Saturn and Gemini.
Do you?
It's opposite my sun. Yes. I'm a talker. Yeah, of course I do.
I would say most people who aren't familiar with what a natal chart is probably should get
Hmm.
their
Right.
natal chart done and
Yeah.
engage the services of a really good qualified astrologer to figure out how to navigate what we're about to do next. Because that
Absolutely.
really is somewhat up in the air, and not landing anywhere definite or definitive. which I personally like. But I've always been that, let's just see what happens next. Let's just be okay with what's going on and move forward. It's always forward movement.
Yeah. Well, I'm a mutable sign. I have two mutable signs in my, big ones. So I'm always like, what? What? I'm like that. So I love okay, let's go. Let's go. I can change on a dime. So yeah.
So what can we send people home with? Are we going to be back on here next week?
Yep. And we
Yeah.
might be in between. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
I don't know. So
What we would, all of you, thanks for tuning in and give us your comments. The other part before we all go is we're all brand new at this, not brand
yeah.
new at YouTube, but this channel, what we're doing, what we're about is brand new.
Yeah.
And we could use your support in growing it, in expanding it, in doing more. What do you want to know more about? Would you like to discuss more of? And do you like these kind of open discussions? Do you like this sort of format? I like it. I love Joanna. I love chatting with you. We
I
always
do
go
too.
down.
Yeah.
I don't know, we go down a rabbit hole or a badger warren. I don't know where we go, but it's always so delightful. And it sort of is this little twist and turn. And now what's happening? What I love and appreciate about you is you're willing to just share anything and everything about
I
yourself.
you know what? And now I am willing to do that. So if people want to know, let's do it. If they have a different subject, we'll find out and we'll do that. If they want to have somebody on, we will try to do that too.
I
Let's
think between now and next week, we
oh,
should
it's just
probably
yeah.
ask folks to either write in the comment or send us something. What is it and where is it that you feel uncomfortable being open? Where
Right.
is it and what is it that you would simply not want to share? Now, anything deeply personal. Well, I guess what is deeply personal? What would you call deeply personal?
Oh, deeply personal. Like
And we wouldn't use your names if you want to stay anonymous,
no,
that's
no.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But things that you might consider, I would never share that, or I would not ever tell anybody that about myself.
hmm I mean, I never thought I would tell people I had a boob job, and here I am going, at 52, I had a boob job and my lung collapsed. He punctured my lung.
While you were having your breast
Yes.
augmentated.
Yes.
Is it augmentated or augmented?
Well, I had a lift and an augmentation.
And they punctured your lung in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I,
I mean,
I
I
wouldn't call
mean,
that a bonus. But
no,
still,
it was not a bonus. Yeah. I got bonuses, but that was not a bonus. I mean,
yeah, this is now
uh,
it's added. Now I'm more curious because
uh,
we I don't know if there are. I guess there are some boys that have boobies put in, but
I
now,
mean,
do you have to have them taken out?
no.
Okay.
I mean, they're great. I mean, for the after after kids, and I know women understand this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're not the same.
Right.
So I was wearing dresses. We would go to parties. We would do this, and I mean, and I know there are some women on here that know me, and they would be like, "Okay, the tape, doing the tape, trying to get them in a dress, doing this. That's ridiculous." So I finally said, "Okay, I'm just getting a boob job." Well, they're great, except I had my lung punctured,
Well,
and
the
it's
only thing I
it
know
and
about
it's a
taping your breasts is to get into a drag outfit, which I had to push them up and in and use duct tape. And the other bit of tape was putting my tallywhacker between my legs and taping that flat so that you didn't see any bulge. I mean, that's anything about taping.
except yeah, except that you can when you're wearing dresses, it's just very complicated. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I totally get that. All right, what else we want to discuss before we let people go?
Well, I want everybody to know they've got us on their side. We love
Okay, yeah.
everybody, and this has been a hard couple years. So I want everybody to know we're here. We see them, we feel them, we hear them. Because a lot of people out there right now are feeling no one. is seeing or hearing them.
That
Um,
reminds me of Hands Across the World. Used to be Hands Across America, where they did a
right.
visual where they imagined there was just invisible hand, but it's really hands across the world. Um,
I speaking of that, I'll let you. I was listening to songs that Lionel Richie wrote,
yeah.
and he wrote that song that everybody sang. I forgot the name of. Oh my gosh, I was just listening to it in the car. Um,
When did
it,
it come
it
out?
oh, in the 80s.
Okay.
We Are the World.
Oh, well, oh.
Okay, so
Now,
oh
if
my
you,
God,
there was
yeah,
two, there was one called Live Aid,
yeah,
and then there was the other one that one was produced by Bob Geldof.
yep,
He wrote that song, I Don't Like Mondays, where a girl, um, I can't remember the subject of the song, went to school and shot everybody or killed themselves, but it was a dark. But he wrote Live Aid to help people in Ethiopia because they had
right,
no way of being able to find anything to eat.
right,
In this country, they released We Are the World,
yeah,
which was produced by Quincy Jones. What's interesting about this, if you go back and you look at the video of that, the making of that, there were
yep.
hundreds of music artists. And see, oh, I got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps. So I
Well,
know this.
listening to it, yeah, yeah,
No, not just listening
I
to it,
know, I know.
how many of those artists have ascended into spirit and are
Yeah,
no longer with us
right.
in physical bodies. Oh, I got goosebumps again. So just digging into, and that was what, 25 years ago? 85.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no, 40 years ago. Because I moved here on June the 8th, 1985.
I'm not that old, Kevin. I'm just kidding.
Well, I don't mind declaring I'll be
No,
63 in
yeah.
October.
I
I'm
just
a
told
man,
everybody I'm
everyone I know.
53. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
I
Age is
don't care.
across my
Yeah,
face.
yeah,
Uh, uh, but that's so interesting. And I think there was Hands Across America, but now it's Hands Across the World.
yeah,
Um, we're regardless of where you are, what you do, and what you think. When you think you're all by yourself on your own, just think about a wonderful tapestry, and
yeah,
every single one of us that are
yes,
still in a body being a unique piece of thread that keeps that tapestry and keeps that fabric of life alive. Um, there's a
yes,
great
we
deal of
are. Yeah,
there's a great deal of darkness being pushed through whatever we're hearing, whatever we're seeing. You don't have to listen to that. It's about tuning into a channel, tune into a different wavelength, literally, a different wavelength, a different way of thinking, a different way of being. And I think that's what you and I are about. We're about
absolutely.
spreading out the joy, spreading out the fun, spreading out anything that lifts up, because that's what we're looking for. That's what we came to
Right,
do.
right.
So,
I would love for Lionel Richie to write a new song and for me to let. He's one of my favorite.
I don't know, maybe we
And
have
the
to research a remake of that.
oh gosh,
Hmm. With a whole
yeah.
bunch of new artists.
Oh, that wouldn't that be amazing?
It would.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, I think this is a good place to wrap it up, right?
yeah, yeah. I I just sending out joy and love to everyone.
Correct. And
And thank you for subscribing and listening and loving us. Yeah,
correct.
bringing it
And don't
back.
ever forget that you matter.
Yeah,
All right, then, my friend. Thanks so much. Bye for now.
yeah. Bye. Mwah.